Do you have a few minutes?
I gotta make some changes in my life. Do you even realize what your life means?
Morning Cup of Joe, a Missouri S&T podcast using pop culture to destigmatize mental health.
Fake laugh, hiding real pain.
Do not self-destruct.
I didn't ask for this to happen.
Join us in using everyday examples to explain usable techniques to help improve your mental well-being.
Stay a while and listen.
Welcome back, minors. My name is Amber Johnston. I'm a counselor here in Student Wellbeing.
And my name is Tracy Griegel, and I'm also a counselor here in Student Wellbeing. And it is time for your Morning Cup of Joe.
Was that the crowd?
Yeah, the crowd goes wild.
So this is not a sports episode. Last time I did that, it was a sports episode.
Okay, gotcha.
But it could be the sound of rushing water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bubbling, like maybe.
Okay.
I don't know how to make bubbling sounds.
Tea kettle. Nope, that didn't work.
So if you haven't guessed, this week's episode is about water.
Thirsty. Yes.
So I realized something the other day, Tracy, and do not laugh at me because it's kind of obvious and I don't know why I didn't notice earlier.
You're telling me not to laugh, so
You're going to laugh?
I'm gonna laugh. So tell me what it was.
Okay. I've noticed that tumblers have become a big part of our culture in the last 10 years or so.
Everywhere.
And pretty much everyone carries one now. And there's certain types of cups that are considered to be trendy. And that other kinds that are considered to not be trendy. And I've noticed that because people are asking for them for Christmas, it's kind of started to hit me how weird this concept is, like coming from where we were like growing up. Like, because even buying a bottle of water when we were kids, people have been looking at it like had four heads.
Right. So, yeah, when we were younger, cups were just something you used to drink. And it seems like anymore, they have become a fashion accessory.
They absolutely have. Like, they even make charms for your cups.
Oh my gosh, I have charms on my cup.
Do you really
I
have
do.
charms on your cup?
I have an autumn one that has little jewels on the top of it.
Well, but think about how alien of a concept that is to, like, the way that we were raised. Because, like, first of all, like, I don't know about you, but in my household, like, it wasn't, we rarely drank water. It was usually Kool-Aid or soda or coffee.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's what we drank. And then, like, now, like, in the 90s, we started getting the water bottles. Everybody carried a water bottle. And then everybody started getting the permanent cups. Yeah, Tracy still carries her water bottle. Well, and I'm not one to talk about cups. Like, I mean, I've got my big old freaking honking cup right there. But
My cup is broken. The lid, the straw is broken. That I
Oh,
used to have.
sad.
I'm sad day, right?
sad Tracy.
I know.
Broken cup.
Yes. I need a new one.
Okay. So I was in an online forum the other day, and all of the women in the forum were posting pictures of their tumbler collections. Like, their collections of tumblers. It was, I can't even, like, that's how much it hit me. Like, they were talking about how it started with the Yetis and then went to the Hydro Flask, and now it's on the Stanley Cups. And they even make purses that attach to your cups to hold your wallet and keys.
Okay, I'm going to sidebar for a minute because I do a craft fair in Cuba in October every year. You would not believe how many vendors I get every year that sell sublimation tumblers.
Really?
Tons and tons. Last year I had to cut off vendors who sold sublimation cups.
Because they had too many of them?
To me up, yes.
Well, I really want one of these things. They're like, I don't know how to explain it other than it's a purse strap that like you carry over your side that your cup fits into.
It's your purse.
It's a purse for my cup. Because I totally need it. I saw one that had, like, was purple and had a big sunflower on it. It was, like, crocheted. And I'm like, yes, that is the granny stuff that is screaming my name. Like, I need that in my life.
That should be Student Wellbeing's giveaway for next year.
What? A
Cup
crocheted cup purse?
Cup purse.
Sure.
How many students want a purse cup? Okay.
Most of our students are male, so we may need to make it a little bit more manly.
Backpack. Back cup holder.
Satchel. You've seen Friends. It's supposed to be a satchel.
Don't even feel like it's a satchel.
It's my cup satchel. Okay.
Well, I think it's a part of all the pressure to increase the amount of water that we're drinking. I mean, it's like water. So water really wasn't something that was encouraged to drink. Like we talked about it. It was just Kool-Aid, And so people drank it at home and sometimes in a restaurant. But you didn't really carry water around. And never.
No.
Even in schools, water fountains were like kind of rare. Like
right.
It really wasn't something that you had to have. And bottled water, never. There was no such thing as bottled water.
We drank water when we were locked out of the house and had to drink it out of the garden hose because nobody would let us in to get a drink.
Well, we had actually our spring house. So we had a natural fed spring when I was a kid. And so it was like the coolest thing to go and like put your mouth underneath it to drink it. The spring house. So, I mean, Amber's over here laughing at me because I'm like, putting my mouth.
Okay, for our listeners, she's actually illustrating the concept of sticking your head under the spout.
This is spring house. So, but it was this beautiful spring house, and it had the spout that came out of it. It was phenomenal when we lost electricity for 2 weeks after we had a tornado back in 1982, and so all of our stuff out of our refrigerator went in the spring house because it naturally kept everything cold. So
Yeah,
it was the bomb. So yeah, but we didn't have water bottles, so it was just something we didn't have. So
water was what you drank when you didn't have anything else.
Yes,
for the most part,
unless you enjoyed the spring house. So.
Unless you enjoyed the spring house.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, like, we were drinking Kool-Aid, Capri Sun, Snapple, soda. Mostly we drank, if we had a beverage, if it wasn't in the original, like, small portable container it came in, it was out of those giant styrofoam cups with that, like, teal thing on it and that funky, like, purple line, wiggly line. You know what I'm talking about?
Trying to imagine.
It looks like a big teal scribble, and then somebody drew a little purple line through the middle of it, and it was like on the side of like all of the styrofoam cups.
Yep, got it. Yep. Yeah.
And drinking water was like just something we did when we had to. But then all this health consciousness stuff. I mean, like, let's be real, like, none of the stuff that we had back then was healthy. Like, and then we got into the 90s and people started being more health conscious. We like started eating like actual vegetables and
Well, Michelle Obama, when she came into office, there was a big health push for
in the early 2000s. Yeah.
That's a lot of things changed in our schools as far as what I think soda machines went out of the schools when that was a big push to like help encourage nutrition and things that was very helpful, to helping things become more nutrition focused. So yeah, which was a positive piece.
So we've overall as a culture become a lot healthier, and that's kind of where we were going with that is that we are starting to realize as just in general how important water is to not only our physical health but also our mental health.
Right. And I cringe to think of how much we drank on a daily basis of what was caffeinated. The trendy drinks at the time seemed to be one of those that was most caffeinated. Do you remember Jolt?
So we used to do this thing where we would take Jolt and mix pixie sticks in it.
Oh my God. Do any of our listeners out there, Jolt is kind of like, let's relate that to,
It's kind of like those charged beverages
Yep.
that Panera had, like with all the extreme caffeine. So
Yeah.
it's like this major amount of caffeine, but you bought it at like the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And so we felt that it didn't have enough sugar in it. So we added Pixie Sticks, which is
Mm-hmm. Right.
flavored sugar,
Right.
to this carbonated, caffeinated beverage. And I don't know, it was basically kid crack at that
yeah,
point.
it's kind of like Red Bull or some of these other things, similar to like that. Yeah.
Without all the other added
Taurine and
ingredients.
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
it was just basically just caffeine.
Caffeine.
Massive amounts of caffeine.
With your
And it-
sugar added.
Yes, because it tastes like just, guys, the Jolt tasted terrible. It was like battery acid. Like, it was bad. bad stuff. So we had to make it drinkable. So
Right.
we added stuff to it.
So basically what we're saying is how we look at beverages has changed, and now it's considered popular to drink plenty of water. And I would say that it's a good thing because the perspective has changed. So
We've become healthier,
Yeah.
like more health conscious, like just in general. We pay attention now to things like, there's a lot of people that go no caffeine. There's a lot of people who watch the amount of sugar that they're intaking,
Right.
and artificial sweeteners. They're drinking a lot more natural things. People are drinking unflavored, teas without having all that added sugar and artificial sweeteners and stuff in it.
Right.
Pay attention to the dyes and chemicals and things.
yeah, eliminating some of those things. So I know that water is good for our physical health and wellness, but it also helps fuel our muscles, and it keeps our joints lubricated. It helps remove toxins. It reduces overeating. It keeps our skin clear, and it also helps digestion. So it makes our stamina better when we exercise. It boosts our energy levels, and it's also amazing for our bodies. So, but so it does all these wonderful things, but so in relation to what we're talking about, let's talk about how it helps our mental health.
Right.
Let's apply it there.
Water can absolutely help prevent a number of health problems. And if we don't drink enough, we can be constipated and end up with urinary tract infections. We can also end up with kidney stones, as well as have drier skin. In addition, not drinking enough water can cause us to gain weight and have a harder time losing weight if we're trying to lose a few pounds. Did you know that our brain's made up of 75% water?
Yep.
When we don't drink enough water, it can mess with our serotonin levels.
And there's that key.
That
That's
mental
that
health
mental health
piece.
piece that we asked about. Yep.
Start messing with our serotonin levels and lead to us feeling tired, having poor concentration, messing with our moods, can make us have mood swings, and just give us this feeling of just overall being depressed, tired, and groggy. Water is just as important for our mental health as our physical health.
Right.
It's part of that triangle that we always talk about.
Right. So, I think for students who are listening to this, I have a lot of students who come into the office and some of the symptoms that they report, they're chronically tired, they're not sleeping well, they're having difficulty concentrating in class, they're just irritable, and they don't have that energy that they used to, they're just kind of feeling depressed. And that's one of the first questions I ask them. How are you sleeping? How are you eating? And what's your hydration like?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, I haven't been drinking hardly anything. I'm not drinking much water. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not eating well. And so that's the first place I have them start is I look at that. How can you adjust those three things? And believe it or not, a lot of those students, not a lot of them, but several of them will make adjustments to those three things. Those are those eating habits, those sleeping habits, and those hydration habits. And they'll see a change in their mental health. And those are those fixes that you can show that there's a behavioral change that you can immediately change your mental health.
Yeah, and it's pretty quick. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
happens
quick.
fairly quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of people, like, because we have become so desensitized at being, like, mildly dehydrated a lot of times, for most of the time,
Yeah.
we start experiencing that feeling that we should be recognizing as thirst as hunger. So you see a lot of people, they're like, I'm, binge eating and all that kind of stuff, and or I can't stop eating these potato chips. A lot of times it's because,
Thirsty.
they're thirsty.
Yeah.
So you give them some water, and then they're just like, and we're not talking about like actual, eating disorder type behavior. We're talking about like, I don't normally like sit down and eat half a bag of potato chips, but for today, some reason, I just felt like I needed to. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes emotional eating. So, yeah, it's part of this triangle that we've been referencing. But if someone's struggling, we want to make sure that as part of addressing the problem, that our water intake, our food intake, and sleep are always adequate. So just to make sure that those things are taken care of, those things can do wonders for our mental health, like I mentioned. If we don't take care of these things, it's impossible to have good physical and mental health. So making sure that all these things are in line is a basic part of mental health first aid.
So let's go into it. How much water is enough? How do I know I'm drinking enough?
Right. So it depends on a lot of factors. So you used to hear that 8 cups of water was a day, but that might not be enough for some people. So most generally 11.5 cups per day for females and 15.5 cups a day for men is considered to be about average. But you might need more or less depending on your size and how dry or hot the environment is that you're in. So how much you exercise, your manual labor that you're doing, and your general health, age, and even if you're pregnant or breastfeeding can affect how many glasses of water a day you're supposed to have. So even your diet affects how much water you need. So you get some of our water needs met through food. Everything you eat and drink that contains water can help meet this goal. So this includes fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, as well as non-alcoholic, non-water beverages like coffee, tea, or milk. However, caffeine can act as a diuretic, so caffeine drinks should not be your primary source of hydration. So you have to kind of limit those and watch what you're intaking as far as caffeine.
So how do we know if we're drinking enough? If we're drinking enough water, we should rarely feel thirsty, and our urine should be a light yellow color. By the time we actually feel thirsty, or what we perceive like commonly as thirst, we're already dehydrated. There is unfortunately no cut or dry method to know how much to drink, but we should drink often throughout the day, which is why those cups are such a positive, progressive move forward. Like that's absolutely, those are awesome. We should make an effort to drink water with meals, as well as consuming some water between meals. And in addition, we should always drink if we're thirsty and increase our water intake in response and preparation for exercise in extreme heat.
Right. So minors, what we're saying here is keep drinking, but don't feel bad having a few flavored beverages in there as well. So sometimes
It's boring.
it is boring, yeah. So, I mean, they do make flavored waters that are not sugared. So it gets boring after a while, and you find ourselves not drinking as much. So if it doesn't taste good, so don't eliminate drinking water because you don't like it. So you might have to add a few flavors in there. And so tea, people like to drink tea, like green teas and things as that such, but they do make flavored waters. So if you have to add some flavor in there too. So
You can get those little single serving flavor packets. I like lemonade and limeade the best. I like that tartness. They also have ocean water and cherry limeade flavors for those of you who are a fan of those flavors.
Right.
And I even found one that was flavored like a pink Starburst.
Right, exactly. And you can put fresh fruit in your water, like oranges, strawberries, or lemons, and they do make these really cool bottles. I have this one bottle at home that actually holds the fruit in the middle in this little container, and it allows the natural fruit flavors to float out into the water, and it keeps it so it doesn't have like all the seeds and all the different
I hate
pulpies
that.
that's in there. So, because some people don't like that, but it's a really nice little container that allows the actual flavors of the fruit to go in them. So you can buy those specific little water bottles that holds the fruit in the actual container that lets the flavors come out in there. So.
There's also some really good herbal teas that you can get that have, and you can put all kinds of things. You can use the fruit in an herbal tea and mix the two together, like get a good like chamomile or whatever and add some flavorings and stuff to it and some fruit.
So if you're still struggling, just make it a habit to drink a glass of water at certain times of the day, like a glass when you brush your teeth or another glass when you first get up in the morning. Just set a habit to drink extra water at certain times of the day. So, if you're gaming, do the top of the hour. If you're watching TV, when commercials come on. So, or if after class, when you get out of class, drink a glass of water after class. Just set yourself some sort of habit or routine so that, you're making a habit to get that water intake up.
And by all means, if the charms and the cute cups and the little cute straw toppers and the cup purses and all of that make you drink more water, lean into that.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a really good place on campus to keep your water jugs cold, go down to the Veterans Resource Center. They have the best ice on campus. It's the Sonic Ice.
I love Sonic Ice.
They have the best ice on campus. So, yeah. So, great place to check
water
out.
with Sonic Ice in it where it gets that super, 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 super cold. Oh, it's the best stuff.
Yeah, so if that's one of my best tricks is if I don't really like water a lot, get it super cold, put lemon in it. That's another trick too. If you drink a big glass of water in the morning with lemon in it, it helps boost your metabolism too.
I always like lime. I don't know why. I like the cutting up limes and putting in my water. I like that little bit of tartness.
Yeah. So drink up. Keep your water intake up today. So miners, drink a glass of water for us and have a great day.
Yeah. Take care.
If you like this podcast, please remember to like and subscribe. To schedule an appointment or to reach out to us about future topics you would like to see, please email us at wellbeing@mst.edu. You can also reach us by phone at 573-341-4211. We are located at 204 Norwood Hall.
I accept the challenge.
Get out there and do your best!
Hey, go easy on yourself. Come on now.
Now you're talking!
For more mental health and well-being content, please follow us on Facebook at Missouri S&T Wellbeing and on Instagram at S&T Wellbeing.
But most importantly,
never give up.